In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and pink beetles. Bluff City Media presents Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta. Join Francis after every Memphis Tiger game as he breaks down each matchup, player of the game, and upcoming games. Now, let's get to the show. Well, let me put myself on the screen. That's some amateur stuff. I apologize. Shout out to everybody. What's going on? My name is Kenny Stubblefield. I am here. The Tigers versus FAU just ended. The Tigers got a monster 27-point win against the Florida Atlantic Owls, 92-65. Shout out to the Memphis Tigers. They are now 10-10 on the year, 5-3 in the American. And yeah, just a complete and total dominating game from start to finish, really. I think it's fair to say that Florida Atlantic looked at like an absolutely different team than when we played them in early January. They were without their two top players, the Carlisle kid and the other guy, the other guard. I think that is their two top scorers, and so it definitely was a tough game in terms of, for FAU. They just had to rely on guys that were probably not ready for that moment. But I'm not taking away at all anything about what the Tigers did tonight. I felt like they really from really start to finish, just kind of dominated this game, kind of put their stamp on this game and just did what they wanted to do against a tough team. FAU is a team that has beat they're 6-3 in the American. They were number one in the American for a little while. I think they've fallen out of that with the loss of South Florida. But yeah, big time win for the Memphis Tigers tonight, 92-65. Shout out to everybody that's in the comment section. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you guys being here. It is a little bit warmer of a night tonight, still in the 40s, and I think the roads are even slippier and more dangerous right now than they were just even a few days ago, just with all the water and slop and stuff. But it's good to see everybody in here. It was actually really cool to see the people that were in the arena tonight too. I know they were being told to stay away, but there was a decent turnout in terms of just with the weather and the bad situations. It was just a gross night. So shout out to everybody who showed up. Roman Cleary did make it down to the FedEx Forum, and Roman is here with us. What's up, Roman?
What's up? Tonight certainly has a different tone, a different tenor.
Yeah.
The Tigers were able to accomplish what we expected them to accomplish against most of these American Conference teams in the preseason. Now, again, FAU was shorthanded in this game, very shorthanded. Didn't have either of their top two leading scorers with Cannon Carlisle or Devin Vanderpool. So you got to take this performance with something of a grain of salt. But that doesn't change the fact that you still got high-level contributions from arguably your three most talented players in
Yeah.
Doug, Sincere, and Aaron Bradshaw.
Yes.
And performances like this and nights like tonight are why I still maintain that even though this Memphis team may not be, as good as a lot of people anticipated in the preseason, it's still the most talented team in this league because I just don't know if any other team in the American, maybe besides Tulsa, is capable of doing what we saw Memphis do tonight.
Yeah, it was a really good game from all three of the main guys that should be the high level scorers for this team. Doug McDaniel, Aaron Bradshaw, and Sincere Parker all played substantial minutes tonight. Aaron played 20 minutes. Doug played 32 minutes. Sincere played 26 minutes. And they all shot the ball really well from the floor. Aaron only shot the ball 5 times and made 4 of the shots, but he got to the foul line quite a few times, 6 out of 6 from the foul line. Doug McDaniel, 19 shots tonight and made 11 of them. So a pretty efficient shooting night for him. Only
high volume as well.
Yeah, high volume and high efficiency, which is really good. And then Sincere, 8 for 12 from the field, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, 21 points in 26 minutes. He had 5 rebounds and 3 assists. These are the performances that we've been wanting to see from these 3 guys the entire year.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's pretty much what you envisioned from this Memphis team in the preseason. It's what you envisioned back in October when Doug McDaniel and Aaron Bradshaw were named to the American Conference preseason first team.
Yep.
And, Sincere Parker was often, mentioned as this guy who may not be on PJ Haggerty's level, but he has the potential and the capability of perhaps replacing his production.
Right.
And when all 3 of them are able to put it together and have performances like the ones that we saw from them, that is where Memphis is at its most dangerous. And they're going to be more of it moving forward if they're going to want to turn things around here in this American Conference slate.
Yeah, real quick before we get to the actual play on the court in depth, what was the arena like? I know it's been a rough week for everybody. People pretty much have been stuck inside their house. The University of Memphis is telling folks don't come to the game, but Memphis Tiger fans are going to come to the game when they have the opportunity to.
Yeah.
I know that the crowd was small and the arena allowed folks that purchased upper level and pinnacle level seats to come down to the lower bowl to kind of fill it out.
Yeah.
But what was the energy like in there? What was the crowd like? Was it as Crispin as John Crispin called it? He said, these teams are having to create their own energy in a lot of ways. Did you find that to be the case?
I mean, it wasn't as much of a ghost town as that line, suggests. It was obviously a very small crowd because that's just going to come with, the inclement weather and people not being able to, make it out of their neighborhoods and things like that. That's really the big problem with with the winter storm road conditions as of now. Most of the main roads in the interstates are quite clear and usable, but it's getting out of the neighborhoods and slipping, just a few feet away from your house. That's where a lot of people are having issues. And
that was me, Roman. That was me tonight.
Oh,
my street going into my house is on an incline, and I was coming home from grabbing some food for the family for the first time in a week. And I got up to right about middle, and I started sliding backwards. I had to call people out to help me push the cart up the street. So yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, no. But I do think that this crowd was able to create a lot of the energy tonight, despite it being small. I mean, some of the moments in the second half, when, like, for example, when FAU missed both the free throws and everyone gets the free Chick-fil-A, that got a pretty loud pop. When Mason Matthews hit the 3,
got a big pop. That was a big pop.
Yeah, pretty big pop as well. So I do think the crowd was a bit more lively than what may have come across on TV there.
Yeah, I mean, they sounded fine. It definitely over the TV, because I have my headphones in. I was listening to the game with my headphones. You could hear more of the on court stuff, so that was kind of interesting. If you're not down there, I've spent quite a few seasons on the baseline, so you're able to hear a lot of the talking between the players and things like that. But it felt like the game, even in the first half, when it was still just a little bit close, when it was a 6 to 8 point lead, FAU, they have some guys that like to talk, don't they? Julius Tedford and what's his name? Josiah Parker were getting into it quite a bit in the game. I know were you able to move down and kind of hear all that, or were you up top still?
I was still up top, so I wasn't really able to catch much of that audibly. But Josiah Parker was far and away FAU's best player tonight. 21 points and 13 rebounds, I believe. So he was able to step up and make up for a lot of the missing production that FAU had, but it was obviously far from enough.
Yeah. What are some takeaways that you take from this game? Like, I know there's going to be conversations around, things have been rather doom and gloom in Tiger Nation for the last, since really coming back home from the Baja Mar. But what are, like, there's going to, I can even see it in some of the comment sections here today, that there's going to be these are the, like, we saw the Tigers doing things tonight that they just haven't done. Do you attribute what we saw tonight to something that the Tigers are doing differently, that they're changing up, are they locking in? Are they kind of unlocking something within them as a team? Or was it just they are at home against a team that's missing their two best players?
I mean, I feel like it's kind of a combination of both those things you just said there. I think the biggest takeaway overall is that Memphis showed tonight that it still will be probably somewhere in the top half of this league by the time the season is over. It's going to have trouble competing with these higher level teams on the road. But at home, here at FedEx Forum, they're capable of beating just about anybody in this conference. Yeah.
What an interesting night. There's one thing that I would say, and I don't know if you agree with me or not. I don't feel like that this team, throughout even its losing streaks and the multiple losses in a row and the way even in games they've looked bad, I haven't really seen much of like a lack of energy from this team. There seems to be this team seems to be a team that they are willing to exert quite a bit of effort. It's just sometimes that effort doesn't pay off in positive success on the court. Today it did. And so you saw that effort translate to positivity on the court for the Tigers. And they had some really good stuff tonight, even especially on the offensive end of the floor. This team has struggled offensively throughout this year. And so their defense has to be basically on point every single minute of every single game for them to stay in a game. But tonight, their offense looked really, really, really good.
Yeah, no, I thought we just saw a lot of high-level shot making more so than anything.
Yeah.
I don't know how many fantastic looks that they were able to generate out of sets, but I thought we saw high-level shot making, high-level contested shot making from Doug. I thought we saw that from Sincere, especially. We even saw that from Quante Berry a little bit, and Aaron Bradshaw was able to have his way inside. Devin Williams, who killed the Tigers in the last matchup with 12.6 rebounds and 7 blocks, he got nowhere close to that.
He was a non-factor tonight.
Yeah, complete non-factor, only 3 points and 2 boards and no blocks at all. That's a top 5 shot blocker in all of college basketball. So to render that man for, with no blocks whatsoever in a 40-minute basketball game is particularly impressive there. And I think just demonstrates the tenacity Memphis had on the offensive end.
And I wonder if part of that is I have really kind of tried to pump the brakes on Simon Majock, right? Like I've tried to pump the brakes on people crowning Simon Majock as this big time player for this Memphis team. I do think that he has the athleticism and quickness in movement that will contribute, will help him get, as he gets older and more mature in his body, be a pretty good college basketball player. But tonight it felt like his energy and his movement on the offensive side of the floor really opened up quite a bit for the guards and Aaron Bradshaw to get a lot of looks. Did you like what you saw out of Simon Majok tonight, playing 21 minutes? He only had 4 points, four free throws, only 1 rebound and 2 steals, but it just felt like he was doing things out there. He was creating some open opportunities for the other Tigers to play.
Well, regardless of what you think about Simon Majok, whether you're low on him or whether you're high on him like Francis, I think it's hard to, argue the fact that he is far and away Memphis' best option at the 5, besides Bradshaw. Wharton just hasn't been effective. Tariq Ingram hasn't been effective. So Majok's pretty much the last man standing there, and I think he definitely showed why he deserves to at least play a good bit tonight. Penny Hardaway's pulled in, so I have to depart here.
Awesome. All right, brother. Enjoy it. Enjoy the win. Enjoy talking to Penny after a win. That's more fun than after losses. So shout out to you, man.
All right, I'll see you.
See you. Yeah, I was impressed with Simon tonight. I thought Simon, while he might not have filled up the box score and put a lot of points on the board like he has in other games, I thought he impacted the game in a real way. So I was impressed with what he did out there. We're going to take a really quick break, check in with some sponsors. I want to thank everyone. Francis is obviously out tonight. He woke up this morning with a pretty high fever, and so he's out. Sent out the bat signal, and nobody else could join tonight. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, I would love for the chat to kind of lead this conversation as we move along tonight. I will absolutely. It'll probably be a shorter episode tonight. I've been on air a lot today, so I'm pretty worn out from talking. But I want y'all to lead the comments. I'll star some during the break, and we'll have a good conversation about it. So shout out to the Tigers winning 92-65 at home tonight. Let's take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll do some more chat talk, if you will. In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, it's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem. And here we go, the team that I am going to say I would hate it more so than any other team if he was on. It's the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we're on the same page there because I would hate it. I would hate him to be there a lot more than I would hate him to be at OKC.
Like, San Antonio pisses me off.
They make me so mad.
They could get Giannis Antetokounmpo on their team and not have to give up Victor Wembanyama for it.
Oh, 100%. Because you can trade last year's Rookie of the Year, Stephon Castle. You can trade this year's number 2 pick, Dylan Harper. Even with sending 4 first-round picks to get De'Aaron Fox, they still have 4 pick swaps they can use. They can send out a lot of smaller contracts and do this and keep Victor Wembanyama.
Because then watch what's going to happen in a year or two. Jokic is going to go to LA and team up with Luka Doncic, and the Grizzlies are going to be stuck in Western Conference purgatory forever. Tune into the Daily Grind with your host, Loot Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In Memphis, nothing comes easy, and that's exactly how we like it. This is a city built on hustle, on heart, on grit. And at Carway, our rides are built the same way. Tough, reliable, ready for the grind. No games, no gimmicks, just Memphis-style service. Real, honest, and built on trust. Where grit meets grind, you meet your next ride. Carway, grit, grind, and Pink Beetles. All right, I am back. My name is Kenny Stubblefield. Shout out to Roman for braving the winter streets and getting out there to the game. He is absolutely a rock star when it comes to breaking down Tiger stuff. Check him out on his Substack. Go to his Twitter, his X account, ROA Clear. And in the bio, there's a link to his Substack, and that's where all of his written work goes. That's where he's also on Beat with BCM on Wednesday nights with Sam Shoemaker and Shamaria Wiseman. You can check out all their stuff at the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Fantastic. Roman does a fantastic job. And I saw someone say Roman's dressing like a grown man tonight with that quarter zip. Yep, he's got it going on. Shout out to the Tigers, 92-65 win over the Florida Atlantic Owls. I agree with what y'all are saying. Anytime you can beat Florida Atlantic, it just feels good. I know it's not the same team. I know this Memphis team isn't as good as that 21-22 team, but oh man, I think Grizz Girl said she was in the arena in that game against in the NCAA tournament against FAU when they lost, and my gosh, it is I was there too, and it was a devastating night, just unbelievably absurd night. So it always feels good to beat Florida Atlantic whenever you can, just because of how badly that game left a taste in all of our mouths. She also said, finally we get a happy post-game show. I agree with you. There is nothing like doing post-game shows after really bad losses. It's not fun at all. And as much as we try to be objective and fair in our conversation, we're all in Memphis and we're all fans of this city. We're all fans of this university. We're all fans of our pro NBA team. If you have a jersey that has the name Memphis on it, we love you. And over here at Bluff City Media, and we're not afraid to admit that. And so I know that there is, when things get real down bad, folks start to, like, the inevitable trend is to then turn on, the Memphis media that's talking about things, and talking about how bad things are. And that's fair. It's kind of part of the job. You understand that's going to happen. But there is not a single person I know of at Bluff City Media that enjoys talking and spending their time talking about a team that's consistently losing. It's just not fun. Let me see. King Meek says, hey, we got a hoops win this week. Yeah, because the Grizzlies ain't helping that at all. They're in full tank mode. And as they showed last night, sometimes even when you try to tank, sometimes you just get your ass kicked. And that's what happened against Charlotte last night. That was just a bad loss, and just a lot of losing been going on in the city of Memphis around basketball. So it feels really good to get a win tonight. Melvin Body says, this team is better when Hassan isn't playing. I'm going to tell you something. Hassan is out. He's out with a sickness, Roman reported before the game. Apparently, with all of the winter issues, the winter streets, and the school being out because of the winter storm, the practices that were held this week were optional practices. And from what Roman reported before the game, the only player who didn't come to any of the optional practices was Hassan. Now, he also reported that he didn't come because he was sick, which makes sense because the flu is going around like crazy. But this is weird for me, because I don't necessarily want to say that the team is better when Hassan isn't playing, because I still think Hassan Abdul Hakim is a a highly skilled basketball player, but I found myself not even noticing that he wasn't out there tonight. I didn't ask a single time, "Where's Hassan?" I felt like there was a level of aggression and energy that this team played with, and that has been my biggest gripe with Hassan Abdul Hakim this year, is not the talent level. It's that sometimes it just looks like he doesn't really care. And sometimes it looks like he doesn't really give a maximum effort. And especially in college basketball, that stuff's impactful on a team. Like if you see a dude who's one of your skilled guys not giving maximum effort, I just think that's I think that's a bad case, and so him not being there, maybe those lulls didn't happen because of that very reason. But I'll just say it again, I didn't even really miss him tonight. I didn't even realize he wasn't out there. I didn't never go, oh man, that'd have been a perfect spot for Hassan to get a shot. I didn't ever think that tonight. That was interesting to me. Adewale says team was better when Ashton didn't play. Hassan isn't the problem. It's Penny playing too many guys. Ashton shouldn't be playing. I think it could be all of it, Adewale. I think it can be all of it. I don't know. We can sit here and say Ashton shouldn't be playing, and maybe he shouldn't be. I don't think Ashton is very good. He went from starting to playing 13 minutes tonight, had 0 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. I mean, just a non-factor, right? Just a non-factor in anything impactful when it came to this game. But I think Hassan is a problem for this team. So I don't disagree with you that Penny plays too many guys and that Ashton shouldn't be playing, but I also think Hassan is an issue for this team. I don't like his body language. I don't like his energy that he brings in a lot of times. I think he's way too lackadaisical. Mason Matthews got 3 points. Absolutely. Shout out to Mason Matthews. That jumper looked wet too, man. That guy, I think that's what we always have known about Mason Matthews. That guy can shoot the ball, and he shot the peel off that ball, and that one shot that he got looked really good. We definitely need to cut the rotation. I agree with Hassan. Body language, it isn't the best. The rotation, let's take a look at the rotation. A lot of guys played tonight, but let's take a look at the minutes distribution. All right, you had your starting lineup: Aaron Bradshaw, Simon Majock, Julius Tedford, Doug McDaniel, Quante Berry. Aaron Bradshaw, 21 minutes. Simon Majock, 21 minutes. Julius Tedford, 19 minutes. He had 4 fouls. Aaron Bradshaw played 21 minutes and had 4 fouls. Doug McDaniel, 32 minutes. Quante Berry, 21 minutes. And then off the bench, the 2 highest guys in terms of minutes were Sincere Parker with 26, Zach Davis with 21, and then Ashton Hardaway all the way down the third off the bench, 13 minutes, and Tarek Ingram had 10 minutes. So you had Mason Matthews, Willie Morton, Arope, and Tierno Silla all played. Tarek Ingram played. Ashton Hardaway played. And the only 2 players that got double-digit minutes in that whole lineup of guys that played is Ashton and Tarek. And Tarek, I could say, this is probably his best-looking game that he had all year. In 10 minutes, had 9 points, 3 free throws made, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 offensive rebound. Really good game from Tarek Ingram. So your main rotation tonight was Aaron, Simon, Julius, Doug, Quante, Sincere, and Zach. That's 7 guys. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that he is playing too many guys right now. A lot of guys played, but only 7 guys got meaningful minutes. And that's okay with me. A lot of this was garbage time. Mason, William, Arope, Tierno, they were all garbage time minutes when the Tigers were up by almost 30 points. I agree with almost 99% of the things you say, Adewale, but tonight, to me, he said it before the game, and I think it really played itself out in this game. He had a 7-man rotation tonight that got meaningful minutes that impacted winning. And that's kind of like last year type of stuff, which is, I like that. Anyway, let me see. That's all I got. Adewale, you're my guy, and you know that. I've known Adewale since like 2017. So shout out to you. Oh, okay, I got you. He said we need to cut it like we did tonight. Yeah, I think. Let me ask you this in the comment section. What do y'all think about this starting lineup? It's the 15th or 16th starting lineup this year. Aaron, Simon, Julius, Doug, and Quante. What'd y'all think about it? I like the size, the defensive energy, and if Doug is playing offensively as controlled and measured and fast as he was, I'm a big fan of this starting lineup. I know Curtis was out tonight with I think he hurt his knee in practice yesterday. So usually Curtis is in the place of Julius, I think. I think he's probably in Julius's spot normally. But yeah, I liked it. I like that starting lineup. USA Health Insurance said Julius and Majok are great in there. I liked what I saw. Those Simon and Julius are guys that are energy guys, and you don't have to ever wonder about it with them. And so I don't mind having Julius and Majok in there to start the game. And if you get really good minutes out of Simon Majok, you're playing with house money there because his energy is great. And if he's producing, then man, like what are we talking about? Noah Greer says, I really like the starting lineup. The energy and aggressiveness was there, and I loved what I saw. Isn't that really like 90% of basketball is just finding the right guys that are going to give you everything they have when they're out there. And when you start off the game like that, that's really good. Aaron came out in the first like 5-6 minutes of the game and really put an imprint on the game. I think he scored the first 7 points of the game for the Tigers, maybe. Maybe Doug had a layup in there somewhere. I might be wrong. It was a long time ago. But I thought Aaron and Doug played well in this first rotation that they had. I liked it. I liked the rotation tonight. I felt like Penny kind of hit on the right, formula of when to get guys in, get guys out, get some little rest here, get some little rest there. He was masterful at that last year. Penny Hardaway, I say his best coaching job that he did in his entire 8 years at Memphis was last year when he had to massage the rotations with, I think, 7 or 8 dudes. So many injuries last year, and they didn't have a whole lot of productivity off the bench. It was really a top 5, starting 5 heavy team last year. And I thought Penny did a really masterful job of knowing how to manipulate the game with his rotations, his sub patterns. He hasn't done that well this year. And I don't think Penny forgot how to do it. I think he just didn't know who to really go with. There was not very much consistency. But I like what I saw tonight out of the starting 5. It's pretty good stuff. Shout out to Chicken Unicorn, new member. Appreciate you. We're working on trying to get some YouTube membership stuff going. Some secret podcast, if you will. USA Health Insurance Reform said I think it was good to keep Ingram limited. It is hilarious to me. Like, I'm a big fan of color commentators, of guys that talk about the game on TV. I think you can either be really good or really bad. John Crispin is a guy that has always grated on my nerves. And it's so funny to me how matter-of-factly he talked about certain players on this team, certain like fans' reaction to what is happening here with like this year and the frustration that the Tiger fans are feeling. But he was Tarek Ingram had like 2 really good plays right in a row. And John Crispin talked about Tarek Ingram like, how could he not be the starting best big on this team? And I'm like, well, he was brought in to do that. Like, that's what he was brought in to do. He was brought in to like kind of right the rotation. Like at the beginning of the year, it was going to be Aaron Bradshaw at the 5. And it's unfortunately has turned out to be that way, even though Simon played tonight. But Aaron is a 4. He's not a 5. He's like a stretch 4. I said at the beginning of the year, he was a more like offensively gifted version of what Nick Jourdain was. I stand corrected, I think, at this point. Everybody knows me. I'm a big time Nick Jourdain fan. I loved the way he played basketball. But when they got Tarek Ingram to commit to the Tigers, I went on every Tiger podcast we have on this network. And I was like, okay, I don't know much about this guy, but I've seen enough to know that he's the kind of guy you put in the paint, like, and kind of take over that post presence role that Dane Danger had last year. I was like, I doubt he's Dane Danger. There's not many Dane Dangers out there in college basketball, back to the basket type of play. And Tarek is largely disappointed in that regard this year. But tonight, I felt like he was super impactful. He looked more athletic. He looked like his legs were underneath him. Like if you've played sports or you work out on a consistent basis, like, and you take a break, you know how hard it is to get back into the fold of like feeling athletic and feeling like you can move. Then all of a sudden one day it just kind of clicks, right? Like, especially if you play sports, just kind of clicks. And you're like, oh, wow, I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel like I can actually move. I feel like my left hip's not about to explode out the side of my body. You just feel like you're more in control of yourself. And you can tell that. And I felt like that with Tarek tonight. I felt like he looked like he was in more control of what his lower body was doing out there. He has not looked good all year, but I thought tonight he played really, really well. 9 points in 10 minutes, 3 of 3 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Noah Greer says, I feel like Tarek looked more in control, doing the simple things and not overthinking it, just taking what the game gives you. Absolutely. I mean, even that like drop step dunk that he had in the post, like that's a tough move. That's not easy to do. I mean, even if you're 6'9", drop stepping into a dunk and flushing it hard is not an easy thing to do. And it's something that at the beginning of the year, I don't think he would have been able to do. But USA Health Insurance Reform, has he gotten in shape or is he still coming around? I'm not in the arena, or I'm not in the facility. I don't know. I would suspect it looks like to me that he has gotten in better shape. Could he be in better shape? Yes, but it feels like he is starting to get into a shape where he can actually do some things. Now that, I mean, because like, let's be frank about it, that this FAU squad was missing their top 2 guard play, like their top 2 scorers, but Devin Williams is a guy that's a problem. He's a pretty impactful athletic big in the American Conference. And he gave Memphis the business the last time they played in January. But he was basically a non-factor tonight. And I thought Tarek really matched up against him pretty well. I will say player of the game is very clear, very obvious. It's Doug McDaniel. He was phenomenal tonight. I just felt like he didn't try too hard. Is that fair? Like, I felt like he didn't try too hard. I felt like he just took good shots. He wasn't over dribbling. He wasn't trying to ISO ball and just take folks off the dribble. He was allowing the defense to create offense for him. He just looked way more in control tonight than he has in the past. And a super efficient night tonight. 11 of 19 from the field, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, only 2 turnovers. So a 3-to-1 assist to turnover. A 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which is fantastic. And just shot the ball really well, had a good game. So Doug McDaniel is the player of the game for Memphis versus FAU. And we had a conversation about this, I think, with Sam Shoemaker on the Tigers Live show a few weeks ago, where we talked about what players are the most consistent, who's the best offensive player, who's the best defensive player, and kind of finding out who those are. I do not think that Doug is the Memphis's best offensive player. I think that Doug is the type of player that if he can contribute and be impactful in assists and not turning the ball over and taking shots that are good and making them, being a relatively decent shot taker and maker, to me it's Sincere is the guy. If you can get Sincere going, and even if you can get Aaron going, this team has a different ceiling than if those two aren't going. But Doug is I think John Crispin was talking about him being he's the motor in this boat. He is the guy that keeps this thing rolling. He is the guy that is going to take this team as far as they can go. I understand what he's trying to say because the ball is in his hands and he's playing a lot of minutes. He played 32 minutes tonight, which is like 4 minutes lower than what he normally plays. He's playing a lot of minutes this year. So his presence is super impactful. But I love to see Doug not forcing shots and taking what's given to him, taking the shot when it's necessary, not over dribbling, passing to the right guys, running the offense, running the team. When he's doing that well, this team is not a bad offensive team. It's when he tries to go ISO and tries to kind of hero ball the shit. That's when it gets kind of out of control. And that's when he becomes a liability and not a asset to the team. So I thought he was a major asset tonight, which is why we gave him our Tigers Live player of the game is Doug McDaniel. But shout out to him. He played a great game tonight. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything else y'all want to talk about? In the comment section, hit me up. I will absolutely. If you have any topics we can discuss, I'm still working on trying to make this call-in show, so people can call in, so you can actually be on with your voice on the thing. It's what I want this to be. Because we do this thing through StreamYard, it's not easy to do that. You have to have a whole thing there. If you are interested, I did find one way to do it. Is through Discord. There is a way to do a call-in show through Discord. To attach Bluff City Media's Discord to our StreamYard, to where when you call, if you're a member of our Discord and you are in this channel, you can make voice calls through Discord, and it will link it to this post-game studio. I'm still trying to figure out how to make that work. It's pretty in-depth, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that work. But for you to be able to do that, for that to be the case, you have to be a member of our Discord. And for the last 3 years, this Discord has been going on, and we have quite a few people in there, and it's a pretty poppin' place. We have a good time in there. For the past 3 years, you've had to pay to be in there. It is now free. You are able to join for free. In our bios on Twitter, on Instagram, there is a link to our Discord. If you are interested in joining the Discord to join the text conversations that are in there, and with the possibility of becoming a part of our call-in stuff, you have to be a part of our Discord to do that. So feel free. Our Discord link is in our Twitter and Instagram bios. Would love to have y'all. Let me see if I can I'm going to get a link and put it in the comment section right now. Let me do that real quick. Sorry, guys. You just got me tonight. So it's going to be the greatest of podcasting. We'd love to have y'all join the Discord, though. Because the ultimate goal is to take that Discord and turn it into a vehicle to be able to call and talk on shows that are available to do that. So that's our goal. I'm trying to find this link real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Sorry, this is such good podcasting. All right. I'm gonna go to our Twitter page and get the link. I'll post it in the comment section here, and would love for y'all to join us in the Discord. You guys are awesome. Shout out to y'all for being here. Hope everybody's safe. Everybody good? Y'all got power. Everybody's got power. Everybody's good to go. we are. I want to give a shout out to Mugshots Grill and Bar out in Collierville and in Olive Branch. We had we had 2 watch parties at Mugshots out in Collierville this past month, or this January, January 3rd, and January 21st, and they obviously lost both of those games, so that was not fun. We're going to be doing another one in February at the Mugshots out in Collierville. Still haven't nailed down a date for that yet, but that'll happen. But also tomorrow night, if you're a Grizzlies fan and you've been stuck in the house and you want to come and watch the Grizzlies game with a bunch of Grizzlies fans, Bluff City Media talent will be there. We're all going to be there. We're going to do a pregame live show and a postgame show from there. Great drinks, really good food, an awesome tap room, a lot of fun. It's 76 Waterworks Avenue in Memphis, down by the river. A lot of fun. We're going to be there at 6:30 tomorrow night. Grizzlies watch party. Grizzlies versus the New Orleans Pelicans. It's going to be a lot of fun. Smooth Southpaw wants to know, where are all my contractors? Are you talking about Roman and Francis? Roman is the co-host. He's the host of the show, but he is out sick. He's got 100+ degree temperature right now. So the man is sick, and Roman is listening to Penny Hardaway talk about this team right now. So shout out to everybody. All right, 46 minutes. I'm impressed. I think I'm going to call it, guys. All right, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Tigers win 92-65 and go to 10-10 on the year, 5-3 in the American. Real quick, let me see this. I want to see where they are in terms of standings. I think they're kind of back up in it again. They were 7th, and now they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've moved up a spot. They're tied with the Temple Owls. So shout out to Memphis Tigers. They are tied with Temple and Wichita State. Florida Atlantic is still a half game above them because they've played one more game than the Tigers have. But you got South Florida, Tulsa, and Charlotte, who are all 6-2 in the conference, who are tied for first place. So Tigers right now are in a tie for 3rd. And but they have the tiebreaker for Wichita against Wichita is towards Wichita, since Wichita beat Memphis. So all right. Sweet. Shout out. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 in the morning, the Daily Grind. 11 o'clock a.m. will be the $2 Sports Show, and at 1 p.m., the Anthony Sane Show. And we're going to have a good time. And then tomorrow night at 6:30, we'll be out at Ground City Brewing doing a live pregame Grizzlies watch party, and then a live postgame immediately afterwards. Come meet us and hang out with us, and make sure you tell us who you are. And lots of good beer drink specials and food and all that. It'll be a lot of fun. Big TVs. It's going to be on the big projector in the tap room at Ground City Brewing. So, all right. Love you guys. 92-60. What did I say it was? 92-60, 69 or 65. Tigers beat FAU tonight. So shout out to the Tigers, 10-10 on the year, 5-3 in the conference. All right. See y'all. Thank you for watching this episode of Tigers Live. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.